Okay, loving German grammar. Loving German grammar. And I guess I'll say one. I guess I'll maybe give this an order, I guess. All right, I think I know how to begin this. The hardest thing about German is the word, I think, is the word the. The word the. That is probably the hardest, it's got to be the hardest word in German to get control of. And it's intimidating because this is the most common word in the English language. The. Now we have two ways in English to say it. We say the and we say the. But that has to do with sound. That has to do with sound of what's coming after it. The pear, the apple. It's like French that way. That has to do with what's called elision. In German, there are six ways to say the word the. And that sounds bad. I'm going to show you four. I have four of them right here. But it's worse if you want to think of it as, or more, all the more reason to love it, because there are 24 slots for the word the. There are 24 positions for carrying meaning that affect the word the. 24. And I don't want to scare you with this, because I want to show you that there's reason to love German, because it is so cool. It is so neat. Well, what I'm going to start with is this little sentence. Der Mann schickt den Mann dem Mann des Königs. The man sends the man to the man of the king. And I put to and of in parentheses because they're not there. The word the is in here 4 times, and each time it's different. Now, as I teach this, I had said this before, I'm going to teach it with the idea that you understand English grammar, that you have studied grammar, traditional grammar. And I taught that in the first year. It was probably around the, I don't know, 60th. I'll give you the link. I'll show you the link where you could start to study English grammar. That's useful, I think, because you speak English. Well, yeah, I presume you speak English if you understand me. And so you already have the language. Now let's look at the grammar. What's going on with that language? Well, by doing that, that can teach you what grammar is and get you in a position where you can approach another language and talk about the grammar. Now, toward that end, I've diagrammed a sentence in German. Now, this I also taught in the first year. This is Reed Kellogg sentence diagramming, and I think it is very, very useful for teaching. Plus, it's fun. And I'll give you the link also where this starts. Because what I did was I first taught grammar, or morphology, word by word by word. Then I went to what's called syntax, whereas how words are put together into sentences. And I find Reed Kellogg extremely useful for that. All right, well, in this case, the man is the subject of the sentence. He's the one who is doing it. Here's the verb, sends. This would be the simple predicate. That's the that's the complete subject, and this is the complete predicate. But here's the simple predicate. It's just the verb sends. The man sends the man. The man sends the man. Well, this is the direct object. The action is done to this man. There's the one who does it. This is the simple subject. And here is the direct object. Well, sends is a verb that can take an indirect object. And so when you could put the word to in here. The man sends the man to the man. So in English, if this were diagrammed in English, you would just leave that blank. Of course, in English, the man sends the man to the man of the king. Yeah, I don't know if you could get away without. You probably couldn't get away without putting those words in. But in German, you certainly can. So here's the indirect object. The man is sent to the man. Now here's a modifier. This man is the king's man. He belongs to the king. So the king. We would have to say of the king. Well, in English we could say, in German too, you could say to the king's man. You could do that, but I'm trying to teach about the word the. All right, now every time the word the is doing something different here. Here it's identifying that as nominative, the subject of a clause. Here it's identifying the noun as the object of a clause, or it could be something else. That's the accusative case, that's called. Here it's identifying what's coming after as what's called dative case. Dative case. Which is a little bit hard to explain simply, but for now you could say, well, could you put the word to in front of it? The dative case. And here, this is possession. This shows that the king possesses this man. This is possessive, or it's also called genitive case. There are 4 cases here, 4 situations in the sentence. And in German, it identifies it, it pegs it, what's going on in the sentence by what are called inflections. I really don't mean to scare you, but German grammar is complicated, but it's so cool. And so here are 4 of the ways that you can say the, and each one of them has a different job to do. I set this up as like a little bit of a chart. There are 4 cases. Now, I've only used 2 nouns here. Both nouns are masculine nouns, and that's obvious. Man is going to be masculine. King, if it were feminine, we would say queen. King is going to be masculine. So here we've got 2 masculine nouns, and eventually I'll be showing you that König is king, but when there's possession involved, we put S on the end, a little bit like we do in English. The king is here, the king's man is here. That's, you know, the languages are similar. So there we've got 4 ways to say the, and this may seem like I'm going slow at first, but well, I may go slow the whole time because I'd really like you to understand German, and I want myself to understand German too. All right, well, I've begun it. I'm going to be going on here with a second video today because I'm going to continue to deal with the aftermath of the Decentralist Manifesto. As I said yesterday, I want to be showing you books and talk about that a little bit more. So we've begun it. See you tomorrow.